Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man,
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. We've made it to the end of the week. It is Friday. Today is the 21st of the month, 21st of August, 2015. Our sun sign is in Leo today and tomorrow, and then it makes a transition, as you can see over here on Sunday. The sun goes into the next sign right here, which is from Leo, it goes into Virgo. Okay, so Sunday it goes into Virgo. So today we're finishing out Leo. Leo's a fire sign. Leo's all about ideas, creativity, things of this nature. And then the moon sign for today is Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. Tarot card of death. Death simply means transition from one form into the next. It does not necessarily mean the physical death, though physical death does occur upon this planet. This is the physical body and the system itself going through a transition. That is what this is all about. So if we have ideas, creativity, and we have emotions that are coming from a deep aspect within ourselves that are really transformational, that, you know, so transformational that they're called the death because we change one form into the next. Somehow this and this are going to be intertwined over the course of today. So our emotions, our feelings are going to be feeding those ideas. But remember, when you have water and fire, how they work. Water can put the fire out. Too much fire can make the water dissipate in steam. In order for them to work properly, they need to kind of cooperate with each other so that they can create something usable, because steam itself can be usable just as much as it can be usable to have just lots of ideas as well. But if one cancels out the other, then no one is benefiting. So we have to learn to keep our emotions in check through the process of expressing our creativity. Now, here we have the additional aspects for today to deal with. First one we're going to look at isn't until, well, actually, we just passed one a little bit ago between Pluto and the moon sign here, Scorpio. So really deep transformation. That's what we're going through here, a transformational process of the day. As we get into the evening time, Venus is going to bring us a lesson. And then shortly after that, the Sun and Saturn are going to go through its particular lessons, our conscious mind. And then the wounded healer is going to get in at the end of the evening. So what I would say with all of these aspects right here, we've got these lessons coming up while we're in a Virgo or a Scorpio moon. I would say that Scorpio and Venus right here is going to be very significant tonight, that we're really going to feel something that is going to be very instrumental to us. It's going to help us to move forward. So just keep your imagination open, and just be ready to make the changes mentally that's needed to be made, maybe in the perspectives or what have you. But certainly as we get to the evening, this wounded healer, this trine is a good positive sign of us finding ways to want to heal whatever issues may have come up during the course of these lessons, and they all work together on helping each other out. We got the zodiac wheel. See the placement of everything, what's coming up, and so on. 6 Elul is name on the Jewish calendar for today. 6 Elul. The daily thought for today is 4 gates. Judges and officers shall appoint you in all your cities. Think of yourself as a city. You have 4 magical gates: the gate of seeing, the gate of listening, the gate of imagining, the gate of speaking. Magical gates because an infinite God enters your finite city through these gates. An infinite God who cannot be squeezed within any place or boxed within any definition, but chooses to dress neatly in a wisdom called Torah. And these are your gates by which wisdom may enter. That is why all the world competes to storm those gates. They want you to see the ugliness they see, to hear the cacophony they hear, to imagine the nonsense they speak, and speak without end. And then you will desire all they desire, and no room will be left in your city for that infinite God. You only need to master those gates, and the city is yours. The Mayan Oracle today is a 10-tone day. It's the yellow planetary sun. Guide is the star. Hidden power is the dragon. Like-minded energy is the storm. Challenge is the dog. Love, loyalty. The phrase is, I seal the matrix. I perfect in order to enlighten, producing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire. With the planetary tone of manifestation, I am guided by the power of elegance. And if we go down here, we could see we're at the bottom of this column, the middle pillar. So now we're going to be entering tomorrow the last 6 columns, which are a reflection of the first 6. The moon is 39% of the way full. Another week or so before we get up to the full moon. Space weather, 452.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index, quiet. Coronal holes, leaving enough that we're going to feel the effect over the weekend. M-class flare possibility 15, X-class at 5, geomagnetic storm activity 25 in the mid-latitudes, going from 40 down to 30 in the mid-latitudes, so things are dropping just a bit. And up in the sky tonight, we have the bright star left of the moon this evening is the planet Saturn. Lower left of Saturn sparkles fainter Delta Scorpii. Further left, there's an orange-red supergiant Antares. So here's the Scorpii, here's Antares, here's Saturn. Okay, so if we look at where the moon is tonight, the moon's right about over here. So to the left of the moon, we got Saturn, Scorpii, Antares. All right, and there you have it. That is our Cosmic Weather. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. UFO News today. First story, 4 UFOs over Bordeaux, France, August 12th. Objects in question in the distance. Close-up shot right here. This is a good catch from France. 4 glowing orbs were hovering over a neighborhood this week. As you watch, you will see 2 orbs on the bottom left move under and to the right of the upper orbs. They are flying in formation. It looks like they are scanning the homes below. Probably someone important to them lives there. An old abductee or a reborn alien from the planet born into human form. Okay, so there you go. First one in Bordeaux, France. Next, here we have a sighting up by a plane. Common occurrence, it seems, that we're getting more planes and UFO pictures together. This is a great video of a Cigar UFO over Italy this week. It was captured from a passenger jet. In the last screenshot above, you see the UFO is above the cloud line, not part of it. Proof this is real. David has seen a UFO on the way home from Italy. He was awarded a shock outside the window and suddenly saw a UFO. All right, 20-second video. Let's go back here and check it out. It's very quick. Of course, when you put it on the larger version, you see it much better. All right. And there you go. So look at it, enlarge it, you'll see it better. Unexplained experience. Witnesses felt ill after 1665 UFO battle. Researchers are still investigating a 350-year-old case that remains anonymous until today. The incident happened when several fishermen anchored near Barhoft on April 8, 1665 around 2 a.m. They all witnessed strange objects appearing to be vessels in the sky. The most interesting part is the activities of the subject matter, as it shows that they are being engaged in a battle. After the alleged battle, a dark object is seen hovering in the sky. Erasmus Fraschini gathered news reports about the 1689 incident, saying that after a while a round flat form appeared. To be specific, it looked like a plate with a huge hat of a man. And talking about the color, it seemed as a dark moon hovering right over St. Nicholas Church, though it remains motionless until the evening. They are worried about death. Since all of them didn't want to look further, they buried their faces in their hands. According to the report of Francisci, the men who witnessed the object experienced illness shortly afterwards. They suffered trembling extremities and pain in their limbs. Later, the whole incident was deemed unexplained, leading to the symptoms covered or concealed. Francisci has gathered reports related to the event. The experts considered the event and the illness as something unexplainable. Is it a mirage? A fata morgana? Is a mirage appearing above the horizon where there is a mix of thermal layers in the air? It shifts frequently, but the 1665 occurs higher in the sky more than a fata morgana could. Is it a flock of birds? The battle seems to start with the appearance of birds. Shaw and Aubeck summarize the accounts, stating that there is a large flock of birds in the heavens. After moving, they form a long passage in a house. In the case analysis, June 2015, researchers Martin Slow and Chris Aubeck looked at the various possible explanations. At the end of the day, they concluded it was an extraordinary case. Whether true or not is considered to be the first flying saucer report in history. UFOs and airplanes face to face. Here's an interesting report from Cesare Milenio about UFO sightings by airplanes. It's a 4-minute and 30-second video. And if you go through here, you'll be able to see Jaime Maussan talking about this. But I'm going to leave that to you so you have something to watch over the weekend. UK's UFOs, Shoreham's UFO sighting. UFOs are the vagueness of the sky, with people debating on whether they exist or they don't. Since many people have witnessed the strange sightings and recorded evidence, many efforts have been made to determine their existence. However, the job is a difficult one because not all sightings are the same. In fact, some are incredibly difficult to decipher. Since the sighting has no confirmation, it is a well-settled principle to open your minds and consider all the evidence objectively. One thing to consider is that the modern world, it is easy for the people to dream up visions of aliens because they are existing in the movies time and again, but it seems like this is an exception to the rule. Recently, a speeding object, strange object spotted in the wake of the RAF Vulcan hovering in the sky above Shoreham in Worthing on Saturday, July 15th. Elaine Costello recorded the image on Saturday afternoon after a military jet passed overhead. According to the witnesses, the object shows a tiny blackish object flying through the sky at a reasonable speed. It was then nearby Shoreham Power Station in Southwick. According to Elaine, the strange object shown right after Vulcan has disappeared. Its direction shows flits from the screen's left part where the video ended. Okay, so we've seen certainly this with the RAF, with the Vulcan plane. All right. Old case, going back to 1965. Two sisters of charity see cigar-shaped UFO at Clarke College in Iowa. Two Clarke College staff members spotted a cigar-shaped object in the skies over the campus 50 years ago. Here is how the Telegraph-Herald reported the UFO sighting in a front-page story, August 19, 1965. Two Clarke College sisters reported sighting a cigar-shaped light which danced about in the sky over Dubuque Wednesday night for about half an hour. Sister Mary Justa, BVM, who is in charge of the students' accounts at Clarke, said she first became aware of the object about 11:30 p.m. The light seemed to be right at my window, she said. Just as I got to investigate, it shot away. She awakened Sister Mary Xavier, BVM, chairman of the Clarke Speech and Drama Department, who said she clearly sighted the light with a pair of binoculars. It appears to be shaped like a banana or cigar, and at one end had a pink light that looked like it was on fire, the two said. For about 5 minutes, the object was fixed in one position, they said, pointed towards a radio tower near Flora Park. The rest of the time, the light danced around, and as it faded away, it appeared to dwindle to the west, they reported. The glow at the end of the object appeared like a pink flame from an acetylene torch, Sister Justice said. The entire object was about the size of a red light in the tower, judging from where the two witnesses had the sight in their rooms at the Margaret Mann Hall. These sisters said they were aware of an uproar in the Clarke neighborhood by dogs, apparently upset over something, possibly the strange light. The sky over Dubuque was heavily overcast about midnight after a light sprinkle. There were no other reports of identified objects in Dubuque skies Wednesday night, but Sister Xavier said the object she saw exactly matched the description of another unidentified sighting earlier this summer by a student at the University of Kansas in Lawrence. All right, then, one more story here. Donald Trump. UFO caught following Donald Trump's helicopter. An Iowa witness at the Iowa State Fair wants to know what the object was following presidential candidate Donald Trump's helicopter at about 1 p.m. on August 15th, according from testimony in the MUFON database. Donald Trump was at the Iowa State Fair giving kids a ride in the helicopter, the witness said. We were walking down the street to the fair. Donald Trump's helicopter was flying overhead, so I got my phone and I snapped a picture. The weather conditions prevented the witness from looking too closely at the photo immediately. It was very hard to see the helicopter because of the glare on the screen. Later that day, when I was sitting in the shade, I got my phone to see how my picture had come out. That's when I noticed the object in the photo. The witness did not see the other object while taking the photo. Iowa MUFON is investigating. The object could be any number of things, from a second helicopter to a bird. Photo analysis should be able to pinpoint exactly what the source is. Well, this is a helicopter, and this is an object here that doesn't look like a helicopter. We also have seen birds, and this really doesn't look like it's the shape of the bird either. So if this isn't a bird or this isn't a helicopter, what the heck is it? But they might want us to think that it's a bird or helicopter, so what are we going to do? I guess we're going to think what we want to think. All right, there you have it. I'm going to jump away to a song. When I get back, we're going to continue on. This song is called Confirm or Deny.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Underground is where they live. In the bases that our secrets live. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? Plausible deniability. That's their answer to all we think we see. So pay attention. Read between the lines. Changes are happening, revealing lies. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? Underground where they live, in the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies? I can neither confirm or deny. They can neither confirm or deny. It's time for them, confirm or deny. No more secret lies. I don't know about you, but I can't stand it anymore. I know what I saw. You know what you saw. Stand up for yourself. Think for yourself. The truth is out there. No more lies. No more lies.
No more lies. No more lies. No more lies. Do you think we'll ever get there? I ask that question all the time. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we're not telling any lies? It would be nice, wouldn't it? Would be nice. Here's an article from Knowledge Glue. It says, Physicist claims that we can warp space-time. Many scientists are lining up to both promote and deride the newest scientific item, the M drive. On one side, scientists claim that it violates all the known laws of physics and is no more than a cold fusion reactor for the 21st century. On the other side, there are scientists who have tested the drive, including NASA's own EagleWorks. Although they do not know why, they are convinced the EM produces a reasonable amount of thrust and is operating on a relatively unknown method of physics. In some cases, they claim that the theory is proven correct by the Casimir effect. Enter Vladimir Leninov, a Russian physicist. According to Mr. Leninov, he has determined that the thrust is generated not by any type of propellant, but by the M drive. It's actually warping space-time, resulting in a net thrust calculated by many of the tests that have been performed. Recently, in several articles, Leninov has produced insight into the phenomena. Conducted through a expertise of the principle of engine M drive by Roger Sawyer, I am the author of the theory of the superunification, and I declare that the work M drive, no violation of the laws of physics. Engine M drive creates a thrust owing to warping of space-time of quantized space-time inside of the microwave of the resonator in accordance with Einstein's theory of gravity and the theory of superunification. This is a new physics based on the opening by me of the quantum of the space-time in 1996. The space has an electromagnetic structure, and with this, the electromagnetic structure, you can actively cooperate by creating a thrust force, avoiding the emission reactive products of combustion. Newton's third law is not violated. We are repelled from the quantized space-time. Okay, more to the article, but pretty darn fascinating if this comes to be true that they actually did that. Becoming more like Star Trek each and every day. All right, right here is an article. We see more and more of these type of articles. U.S. National Cancer Institute now links cannabis as an effective cancer treatment. The National Cancer Institute's page for cannabis and cannabinoids now lists several preclinical trials and studies in which compounds have shown beneficial medical applications. While these merits come to no surprise for many, the real shocker here is marijuana still being listed as a Schedule I substance in the eyes of the DEA. The National Cancer Institute is the United States' primary agency in which cancer research and training is conducted. They are part of the larger umbrella of governmental agencies that comprise the Department of Health and Human Services. The NCI is largely responsible for running the National Health Cancer Program, providing cancer-related information to the public, as well as developing programs and recommendations for the diagnosis, prevention, and treatment of cancer. Now listed on the NCI's Cannabis and Cannabinoids page, which is assumed to be the United States' official position regarding marijuana's potential application in treating cancer, are the following facts. Studies in mice and rats have shown that cannabinoids may inhibit tumor growth by causing cell death, blocking cell growth, and blocking the development of blood vessels needed by tumors to grow. Laboratory and animal studies have shown that cannabinoids may be able to kill cancer cells while promoting and protecting normal cells. A study in mice showed that the cannabinoids may protect against the inflammation of the colon and may have potential in reducing the risk of colon cancer and possibly in its treatment. A laboratory study of delta-9 THC in hepatocellular carcinoma, otherwise known as liver cancer cells, showed that it damaged or killed the cancer cells. The same study, delta-9 THC in mouse models of liver cancer, showed that it had an anti-tumor effect. Delta-9 THC has been shown to cause these effects by acting on molecules that may also be found in non-small cell lung cells, cancer cells, and breast cancer cells. A laboratory study of cannabinoid in estrogen receptor positive and estrogen receptor negative breast cancer cells showed that it caused cancer cell death while having little effect on normal breast cells. Studies in mouse models of metastatic breast cancer show that the cannabinoids may lessen the growth, number, and spread of tumors. And a laboratory study of cannabinoid in human glioma cells showed that when given along with chemotherapy, CBD may make chemotherapy more effective and increase cancer cell death without harming normal cells. Studies in mouse models of cancer showed that the CBD together with delta-9 THC may have chemotherapy, such as temozolomide, more effective. The page also discovers several potential medical applications for cannabis and cannabinoids, such as pain relief, appetite suppression, as well as being an effective treatment for nausea, anxiety, and depression. Okay, so we've certainly been studying the alternative ways of healing for some time. Living here in California, I certainly am aware of the medical marijuana practice that goes on and the various studies that have occurred. So I am firsthand aware of all of the healing that can take place. And it's very important that we do look at these things. It's killing us, taking all the pharmaceuticals, yet the natural things that grow on this earth are much more beneficial. Could be a reason why when we read through the Old Testament, and specifically the book of Genesis, that not only did God create the green herb, but after Adam was created, the first thing that God said to Adam was to remind him or let him know that he made the green herb. So obviously there was something important with the herb-bearing seeds that it was mentioned a couple of times. So there you have it. All right, we're going to move on now to the next chapter in the Krybalion. So we're on the first principle, the principle of mentalism, dealing with the idea and the concept that the universe is one giant mind, that we live within this mind, or some sort of projection, a mental projection within this mind, and somehow or another we've become aware of our own existence within this mind. And as we are aware of our existence, the more that we understand our connection to this mind, that who and what we are corresponds to other aspects, we are able then to grow within this mind. And that is what we're talking about in the first principle. So you've got the mental aspect, and from the mental aspect you go to the fact that all of the areas of the mind correspond to each other. Every bit of the mind vibrates. The vibrations have poles that move back and forth. They move back in rhythm. All the rhythm of the universe that is going on creates a cause and an effect. And every cause and effect that is part of a rhythm that vibrates because it has poles and so on, all works according to a simple principle called the principle of gender, that everything is masculine and feminine, and that's how it works together. So living in the day and age that we do, where we are so politically correct about all the things that we're saying and the confusions about all of what's going on, no wonder we are having trouble manifesting things. The very principles of how existence operates, and we seem to be rebelling against them, as if we, humankind, can rewrite the rules that God made. Again, I didn't write the rules. These are the rules of the universe. These are God's principles and laws. If you have an issue, take it up with God. I'm just reporting what is out there. Okay? So let's move on into this chapter here. The mental universe. This is chapter number 5. The mental universe. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. The all is spirit, but what is spirit? Your question cannot be answered for the reason that its definition is practically that of the all, which cannot be explained or defined. Spirit is simply a name that men give to the highest conception of infinite living mind. It means the real essence. It means the living mind, as much superior to life and mind as we know them, as the latter are superior to mechanical energy and matter. Spirit transcends our understanding, and we use the term merely what we may think or speak of the all. For the purpose of thought and understanding, we are justified in thinking of spirit as infinite living mind, at the same time acknowledging that we cannot fully understand it. We must either do this or stop thinking of the matter at all. Let us now proceed to a consideration of the nature of the universe as a whole and in its parts. What is the universe? We have seen that there can be nothing outside the all. Then is the universe the all? No, this cannot be, because the universe seems to be made up of many and is constantly changing, and in other ways it does not measure up to the ideas that we are compelled to accept regarding the all, as stated in our last lesson. Then if the universe not be the all, then it must be nothing, which is inconceivable conclusion of the mind at first thought. But this will not satisfy the question, for we are sensible of the existence of the universe. Then if the universe is neither the all nor nothing, then what can it be? Let us examine this question. If the universe exists at all, or seems to exist, it must proceed in some way from the all. It must be a creation of the all. But as something can never come from nothing, from what could the all have created it? Some philosophers have answered this question by saying that the all created the universe from itself, that is, from the being and substance of the all. But this will not do, for the all cannot be subtracted from nor divided, as we have seen. And then again, if this be so, would not each particle in the universe be aware of its being the all? The all cannot lose its knowledge of itself, nor actually become an atom or a blind force or lowly living thing. Some men, indeed, realizing that the all is indeed all, and also recognizing that they, the men, existed, have jumped to the conclusion that they and the all were identical, and they have filled the air with the shouts of "I am God," to the amusement of the multitude of the sorrows of sages. The claim of the corpuscle that "I am man" would be modest in comparison. But that indeed is the universe, and if not the all, not yet created by the all, having separated itself into fragments, what else can it be? Of what else can it be made? This is the great question, so let us examine it carefully. We find here that the principle of correspondence comes to our aid here. The old Hermetic axiom, "as above, so below," may be presented into service at this point. Let us endeavor to get a glimpse of the workings on higher planes by examining those on our own. The principle of correspondence must apply to this as well as to other problems. So let's see. On his own plane of being, how does man create? Well, first, he may create by making something out of outside materials, but this will not do, for there are no materials outside of the all with which it may create. Well, then secondly, man procreates or reproduces his kind by the process of begetting, which is self-multiplication, accomplished by transferring a portion of the substance to his offspring. But this will not do, because the all cannot transfer or subject a portion of itself, nor can it reproduce or multiply itself in the first place. There would be a taking away, and in the second case a multiplication or an addition to the all, both thoughts being an absurdity. Is there no third way in which man creates? Yes, there is. He creates mentally. And in doing so, he uses no outside materials, nor does he reproduce himself, and yet his spirit pervades the mental creation. Following the principle of correspondence, we are justified in considering that the all creates the universe mentally, in a manner akin to the process whereby man creates mental images. And here is where the portion of reason tallies precisely with the report of the illumined, as shown by their teachings and their writings, such as the teachings of the wise men. Such was the teachings of Hermes. The all can create in no other way except mentally, without neither using material, and there is none to use, or else reproducing itself, which is also impossible. There is no escape from the conclusion of the reason, which, as we have said, agrees with the highest teachings of the illumined. Just as you, student, may create a universe on your own in your mentality, so does the all create universes in its own mentality. But your universe is the mental creation of a finite mind, whereas that of the all is the creation of an infinite. The two are similar in kind, but infinitely different in degree. We shall examine more closely into the process of creation and manifestation as we proceed, but at this point, to fix in the minds at this stage, the universe and the all it contains is a mental creation of the all. Verily, indeed, all is mind. The all creates in its infinite mind countless universes which exist for aeons of time, and yet to the all the creation, development, decline, and death of a million universes is the time of the twinkling of an eye. The infinite mind of the all is the womb of the universe. The principle of gender and the lessons to follow is manifested in all planes of life, material, mental, and spiritual. But as we have said before, gender does not mean sex. Sex is merely a material manifestation of gender. Gender means relating to generation or creation, and whenever anything is created or generated on any plane, the principle of gender must be manifested. And this is true even in the creation of universes. Do not jump to the conclusion that we are teaching here that there is a male or female God or creator. That idea is merely a distortion of the ancient teachings on the subject. The true teaching is that the all is itself above gender, and it is above every law, including those of time and space. It is the law from which the law proceeds, and is not subject to them. But when the all manifests on the plane of generation or creation, then it acts according to the law and principle, for it is moving on a lower plane of being, and consequently it manifests the principle of gender in its masculine and feminine aspects on the mental plane, of course. This idea may seem startling to some of you who hear it for the first time, but you have all really passively accepted in your everyday conceptions. You speak of the fatherhood of God and the motherhood of nature, of God, the divine Father, the nature of the universal mother, and you thus instinctively acknowledge the principle of gender in the universe. Is this not so? But Hermetic teaching simply does not imply a real duality. The all is one. The two aspects are merely aspects of manifestation. The teaching is that the masculine principle manifested by the all stands in a way apart from the actual mental creation of the universe. It projects its will towards the feminine principle, which may be called nature, whereupon the latter begins the actual work of the evolution of the universe, from simple centers of activity onto man, and then on to still higher, all according to well-established and firmly enforced laws of nature. If you prefer the old figures of thought, you may think of the masculine principle as God the Father, and of the feminine principle as nature, the universal mother, from whose womb all things have been born. This is more than a mere poetic figure of speech. It is an idea of the actual processes of the creation of the universe. But always remember that the all is but one, and that in its infinite mind the universe is generated, created, and exists. It may help you to get the proper idea if you will apply the law of correspondence to yourself in your own mind. You know that the part of you which you call the I, in a sense stands apart and witnesses the creation of mental images in your own mind. The part of your mind in which the mental generation is accomplished may be called the me, in distinction from the I, which stands apart and witnesses and examines the thoughts, ideas, and images of the me. As above, so below. Remember, the phenomena of one plane may be employed to solve the riddles of the higher or lower planes. Is it any wonder that you, the child, feel an instinctive reverence for the all, which feeling we call religion, that respect for reverence for the Father's mind? Is it any wonder that when you consider the works and wonders of nature that you are overcome with a mighty feeling which has its roots way down into the inmost being? It is the mother's mind that you are pressing close to you, like a babe to the breast. Do not make the mistake of supposing that the little world you see around you, the earth, which is a mere grain of dust in the universe, is the universe itself, for there are millions upon millions of such worlds and greater, and there are millions and millions of such universes in existence with the infinite mind of the all, and even in our own little solar system there are regions and planes of life far higher than ours, and beings compared to which we earthbound mortals, as are the slimy life forms that dwell in the ocean bed when compared to man. There are beings with powers and attributes higher than man has ever dreamed of God's possessing, and yet these beings were once as you, and still lower, and you will be even as they, and still higher in time, for such is the destiny of man, as reported by the illumined. And death is not real, even in the relative sense. It is but birth to a new life, and you shall go on and on and on to higher and still higher planes of life, for aeons upon aeons of time. The universe is your home, and you shall explore its furthest recesses before the end of time. You are dwelling in the infinite mind of the all, and your possibilities and opportunities are infinite, both in time and space. And at the end of the grand cycle of eons, when the all shall draw back unto itself all of the creations, you will be so gladly, for you will then be able to know the whole truth at the being of the all. Such is the report of the illumined, those who advanced well along the path. And in the meantime, rest calm and serene. You are safe and protected by the infinite power of the Father-Mother mind. Within the Father-Mother mind, mortal children are at home. There is no one who is fatherless nor motherless in the universe. Okay, so more info to just hammer home the idea that everything is the mind. Once we get that, once we really understand that, it really opens up our understanding of how things are operating. Because now we can relate to the mind, because we have a mind. So our mind, even though it's a smaller mind, and even though we look at it and say our mind can kind of be limited to the brain, it is connected to and therefore corresponds to the larger mind, which is the universe. So therefore, we are not limited by the size of the brain. We are unlimited because we are connected and correspond with the larger mind that is the universe, that is the all. So that really kind of sets us on a path of understanding, just knowing what our connection is. We're a mind, and then with the mind, we know how to use the mind. So we use the mind to create the things. It just confirms why things like mental projections, affirmations, visualizations, meditations, and all these things, goal setting, why all that works. Because everything's a mind, and all of these sciences and things I just talked about are ways that we use the mind to construct the things we want to construct. So it's a very simple process when we look at it. It's just a matter of practicing it over and over and over again to get better at it. All right, article at In5D, 50 Ways to Have Lucid Dreams. Rebecca Turner. Learning to have lucid dreams. It's fun, intensive, frustrating, euphoric, bizarre, daunting, yet ultimately, lucid dreaming is a hugely rewarding and life-changing experience. Learning how to lucid dream is like any other skill that you develop over time. There is no magic secret, but there are a number of tried and tested methods you can employ. Below I listed a number of these techniques to get you started. There are likely more than 52 ways to have lucid dreams, but we might as well start to stumble into repetition and the overlap of techniques. Okay, so 52 ways. Start a dream journal. Write down one dream every morning. 2. Do a dozen reality checks each day by trying to push your hand through the wall and ask, am I dreaming? 3. Perform a daily 10-minute breathing meditation and examine your self-awareness as you become sensitive to your surroundings. 4. Listen to brainwave entertainment during afternoon naps and early morning meditation. 5. Learn to interpret your dreams and record key recurring themes. 6. Supercharge your dream intensity and dream recall with lucid dream supplements like galamine, galatamine, or chlorine. 7. Experiment with a dream herb like Calia Z for vivid and memorable dreams. 8. Perform Dr. Stephen Labarge's mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, MILD, before you go to sleep. 9. Practice the wake-induced lucid dream technique whenever you can. 10. Observe your own hypnagogic hallucinations as you drift off to sleep. Okay, there's a whole list here. I'm going to leave that for you. But the whole idea is real simple. What we're trying to do is we're trying to understand when we are in this reality versus the dream reality. Now, being that we're all part of a mind, everything around us can be thought to be a dream. We're living in a dream. But when we go to sleep, we are in turn, the way that the bigger universe has dream, we have dream on that level as well. So the whole secret is understanding when are we in that dream versus when are we in this dream. So as we go through life on a daily basis, and you go through the world today, get in the habit of asking yourself, are you dreaming or are you awake? And what you'll find is you'll start leaving clues for yourself so that you know whether or not you're dreaming. And at one time, you'll be in that dream state, and you'll ask yourself the same question because you've become used to it. And the moment you ask yourself that question and realize that you're in a dream and that you are dreaming, things will change. Everything will become very vivid, and you become alive in your dream. Now, when you're in that state, it's easy to get pulled out of it at times if you get distracted. So you just need to practice once you're there, staying in that dream state. One thing you can do is when you're there, touch the ground. See whatever's there, the grass, the objects. Bring yourself into that dream more so that you're feeling it and you're experiencing it. So by touching things around you and just being in that moment, you can stay there a little bit longer to learn from. And every time you do that, you'll get better and better at it. Write your journal entries down. And I've done lucid dreaming a number of times, and it is really pretty, well, it's a pretty awesome experience. That's all I could say. So I'm always looking for ways to get stronger at that, and I think this is a good list of techniques to do. All right, here's a message for today from Morpheus.
Morpheus.
The Matrix, August 19th, 2015, by Robert Messer.
Greetings, beautiful potential gods. There is much discrepancy amounting in the cosmic field wave harmonics. This can result in the interception of information, formally deriving conjuries through channeled information, or is that the case? Let me be clear and forward. The holographic principles suggests there are no streams, everything exists in everything else. The illusory field of streaming is the result of linear consciousness, in etc. The dismemberment of mind forms within the psyche. The infinite zero-point field is beyond the parameters of law and order. It exists in the unconscious as ontological form or forms that have distinction but aren't equated. There are two systems in operation, much like a computer. There is an ordered attractor and a chaotic attractor. The ordered attractor takes information and collectively assimilates it and imbues consciousness into it, subsequently emitting information packets of a directed program through the mind enslaved. whereas the chaotic attractor allows consciousness to enter a field of ultimate infinite potential. As long as you are in the ordered attractor, you are programmed, you are in the matrix. If somebody gives you an answer, you have been programmed. You think that because people are being self-servient, abject, barbaric, and egotistical, that the only answer lies in oneness. There is slight ambiguity there, don't you think? People are saying that everything must reach a state of oneness at the expense of everything else. Doesn't that appear, well, sociopathic? The universe became conscious through separation. An inch of logic will allow you to discern that it takes two or more particles for consciousness to arise, and only through contrast does it evolve. Perhaps there is a middle line you are missing, perhaps there is a balance that exists between separation and oneness that is not being addressed. Moving back into utter oneness will result with consciousness completely vanishing. Therefore endeavor to not sunder, dissipate, ruin or obliterate any part of you, but to exalt and perfect every aspect of your being in harmony and love. As you become lucid, the cosmic mind becomes actualized. Do not be quick to decide the path that is best for the cosmic mind, for God. God expresses as you, through you, and is working towards actualization of itself, from being completely unconscious infinite potential, to conscious actualization. Did what I just say program you? Perhaps the intuition of your true self that resides as pure will beyond the chakras can give you the informative citations required to discern the truth of actuality. The idea of individuation relating to the alchemical omega point of this entire multiplicity of consciousness, is for consciousness to re-enter the chaos it came from, the underpinning primordial chaotic fields of ontological form. Or not. The Fourier transform of true unencumbered will is able to induce sinusoids of self-relevant orchestration from this cosmic eternal potential point. When you re-enter the chaos, you can then direct energy straight up, sinusoid, into your individual consciousness, Fourier transform. This impacts the collective noosphere. Or not. Or perhaps that is evolution, and these astrological waves of transformative energy are sinusoids, but on a collective ordered level. The initiate wakes up the serpent and is able to create these waves himself, henceforth apotheosis is ordained. And the ability to willfully manipulate the noosphere from a political cesspool of slavery to impulses of awakening. Or not. Maybe working towards ascension into a deeper field of matrix programming is true liberation. Who am I to say? Who are you to say? Are you God, perhaps? Chaos is forever existent, producing a field eccentric and fervent. Without chaos there is no freedom. Without order there is no intelligent cognition. Chaos must be accessed and harnessed, and order instituted, both of these in the equanimity of dialectic. Or are you inclined to beliefs and prejudices that you have developed here, in the process of natural selection? Maybe your mind and your soul are just products of a matrix you are helpless to escape? Is that where your desire for ascension stems? Or maybe not. Why am I telling you this, in this manner? What am I conveying? Am I trying to test your beliefs and throw you off path, or am I making you question where you are heading? Are you having second thoughts? Or am I an initiator, testing you? If so, then who am I to do this, when you are God? Is God just a universal process? Maybe it's an acronym, maybe everything is a mathematical code you are going to figure out through analytical reason and heartfelt intuition. Who knows? You do, but are your assertions sound? What you incline and implement creates your reality, but are they the most beneficial for you and all those around you? The matrix has you, or does it not? The closer you get to truth, the more people will argue, disagree, and remove you, as it harmonizes exponentially less with their delusions. Or is it you who is falling deeper into delusion? How far does the rabbit hole go? We will see. Loving regards, cosmic hugs, Morpheus.
All right, good message, and kind of ties into all that we've been talking about, right? It surely does. And that's the amazing thing, how everything connects. All right, here we have the next page, page 90, the Warrior of the Light. The breviary of medieval knights says, the spiritual energy of the path uses justice and patience to prepare your spirit. This is the path of the knight, a path that is at once easy and difficult because it forces one to set aside trivial things and chance friendships. That is why at first many hesitate to follow it. This is the first teaching of the knights. You will erase everything you had written in the book and in your life up to now. Restlessness, uncertainty lies, and in the place of all of this you will write the word courage. By beginning the journey with that word and continuing with faith in God, you will arrive wherever you need to arrive. So courage and faith in God. All right, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now imagine yourself seated on the side of the road, observing life, observing people walking back and forth, communicating with each other and with themselves. And as you observe, you begin to see a common thread and understand more of the connection that we have to this great mind, the All. And you begin to see everything around you existing within the mind of the All. And as we do, we take on a new perspective of the world because we understand it in a different way now. We understand that all things are possible with the mind, and the words dealing with the strengthening and developing our mind that we've learned for so long are actual truths that when practiced helps us to expand. So as we go forth into the world this weekend, let us go forth with an observational attitude, to observe the world and observe the workings of the mind that exists in the world around us, and the mind that exists in the world within us. And in all of these variations of the mind, we examine and explore the correspondences between each, which allow each to be able to understand the other. So let's go forth on this journey. Let the subconscious mind continue on this journey of observing the world and the mind at work. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. And that's it, my friends. That is the show for today. As a matter of fact, it's the last show for the week. I will be back next week. Lots of information for you to go over, some videos for you to check out. Catch up on the reading if you can, or reread what we went over. I'm telling you, for those who are very interested in this subject, to really grasp this will help you to understand a lot of different ways in which this puzzle come together. It's a pretty good system. I encourage you to look further into it, and I will do the same. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll be back next week, and we'll continue on from there. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.